Dear friends, you might have heard from development planners and thinkers that there is a great need to follow participatory approach for rural development at the grassroots level. We need to follow bottom up approach rather than to top down bureaucratic approach. In order to bring such changes, we need to change our approach, attitudes and behavior. Above all, there is a need to change our research and planning techniques. PRA or participatory rural appraisal is a set of techniques which intends to bring such changes through people's participation in formulation of the projects, implementation of the projects and finally evaluation of the projects. In this program, we will deal with participatory rural appraisal. It is divided into two parts. The first part deals with the conventional techniques of research and its limitations, and also introduction to PRA and PLA, RRA and PLA, and also introduction to PRA, RRA, PLA, and the part B deals with some participatory exercises and their applications, and also micro planning. Under the conventional methods of research, there are two methods. One is known as quantitative methods and second is qualitative methods. Under quantitative methods, there are two important methods for the data collection, that is known as questionnaire method or interview schedule method. In questionnaire method, we prepare a schedule, a set of questions, then we try to pre-test with the people from where we want to collect the data. We finalize the questionnaire and then we send to the educated piece or educated group of the people who can collect the information or fill up the forms and return back to the researcher. Under the interview schedule methods, we prepare a set of questions and generally we conduct the interview, particularly in our rural setup. This method is more applicable because most of the people in the villages, they are illiterate or uneducated. That is why the interview schedule method is also a very important method for the collecting data in the villages. Then we come to qualitative methods. Under qualitative methods, we have case study, participants observation techniques, focused group discussion and informal meeting, etc. Under case study, we record a history, life history of a person or a family to know about their problems and the different aspects of life, their way of life. So, we record all the information from a family or a subject. Under participants observation techniques, we go in the villages, we live with the people, we try to observe their cultures while living at the residence, while living at the village with the people, and we try to learn how they are behaving, what is their way of life, etc. So, participant observation techniques are one of the important techniques to collect qualitative data from the villages or the people. Then we have focused group discussion. Under this, we try to focus on some issues. For example, there is a problem of migration of people from rural to urban areas or the cities. So, we can ask the people what are the major reasons of migration from rural to urban areas or the cities. Under such focused group discussion with a group of the people, we try to assess, we try to find out what are the major reasons and why the people are migrating and the different causes. Similarly, we can conduct different group discussion on the different issues. So, it is issue based and we try to collect in-depth information about the focused group discussion. Then we have the informal meetings. This is generally we conduct in the villages and we try to know about the different aspects of the village life and we try to collect information from the people. Now, we come to the next, limitations of questionnaire or interview schedule methods. We need to follow certain pattern for the develop a questionnaire. We develop a set of questionnaire, then we pre-test the questionnaire with the people, then finalize the questionnaire. Later on we collect the information with the help of questionnaire or interview schedule. So it is a long process to collect information through the questionnaire or survey methods. That is why it is said it is a lengthy, time taking, mind boggling data and other problems like requirement of time, energy and money. Many times the data becomes so large that it becomes a nightmare for the researchers to tabulate or analyze the data, because from developing a questionnaire to the end of the getting the final report or result, it is a very lengthy time and it is a tedious job, and many times real zeal of research may perish when we get the final result. And second thing, that we need to follow certain rules and norms for developing a better research techniques. These rules and norms also become sometime problematic. We need to draw a representative samples from the masses or from the population. So in order to conduct the research in a systematic manner, it requires some statistical methods, and apart from the statistical method, we need to invest time, energy, and particularly for the analysis of the data, we require major time, or we need to invest the time for this. Now we coming to the next, limitations of the qualitative techniques. Under the qualitative research techniques or the data collection techniques, there are some limitations. That first limitation is quantum of data is small, so generalization becomes difficult. So this is the limitation of the qualitative techniques, and there is a need of good rapport building is necessary for realistic data. So we need a better rapport, otherwise many times the people are very much doubtful and they are not ready to share their information with the people who are going to conduct interview. Then how to remove these limitations? We need to follow certain approach. There is a need of application of innovative techniques. Then we need to involve the local people in getting the facts. The real facts are with the people, so we need to involve the people in the different exercises. Then work with the people to learn about various problems. This is very important. We need to work with the people, then only we can learn that what are the problems and then possible solution also. So alternatives we can note down from the people, their viewpoints is important. Then we have the participatory exercises with the people. These exercises are issue based, and we conduct exercises with the people and try to collect information on the different issues. Now we come to the next. What is PRA or participatory rural appraisal? PRA is a set of techniques of participatory learning, planning and action with the people. We want to learn with the people, we want to act with the people, and all formulation of the projects is done with the people. So these are the basic principles of the PRA. There are various names of the PRA because different exercises are conducted at the village level. There are different nomenclature is there. It is also known as rapid rural appraisal because we are getting information at the rapid pace, which we used to get from the questionnaire or other methods in a very late time. Here we can collect this information in the rapid pace. It is also known as participatory learning action, and there is a participatory action research. So there are the different names of the same set of ideas. So we can say that PRA is a different set of ideas, or the different school of thoughts have been integrated into one school of thought or one set of ideas. The whole process of development in planning and research with the help of people, this whole ideas was integrated by Dr. Robert Chambers and his associates, who is based at International Institute of Environment and Development at London, UK. He started this movement of participatory exercises or participatory research exercises throughout the world, particularly in the developing countries. He says that they know, we do not know. They are the solutions and we are the problems. We as an outsider, we cannot realize the problems of the villagers. That is why he says that they are better people, they can understand their problems as well as they can provide different set of solutions to us. So, this is very important to focus upon, that the people have their wisdom, they have been living in the different situations, they are the hard taskmasters. That is why Robert Chambers have focused that the peoples are the solution and the outsiders or the development professionals who go occasionally, they can be a problem. So, there is a need of mutual cooperation to learn and do exercises at the villages before starting or initiating any development projects. Now, we come to the next. PRA flows from different set of ideas, how it was generated. So, there is a process of development through different streams of development. The people who are working for the rural development through different subjects or through different areas, they have contributed for the development of participatory rural appraisal. The first approach is known as activist participatory research approach. Under activist participatory research approach, the researchers are also the part of activity at the village level. They work with the people and they try to act with the people also. So, they are the part of the research at the grassroots level. Here we can mention about one anthropologist, his name was Paulo Freire. He tried to develop these techniques in Latin American countries and he tried to work with the poor people, downtrodden people, and his observation was that the poor people or even the downtrodden people can formulate their own projects, they can act on it, and finally they can make success or they can develop themselves. This was the important observations of the Paulo Freire. He wrote a book known as Pedagogy of Oppressed in 1968 and it was highlighted throughout the country, throughout the world for his contribution in this direction. There are two important schools in this activist participatory research. One is known as participatory research and the second one is known as participatory action research. So, under participatory research, some projects were undertaken at the places like Tanzania and other places in the African countries, particularly for the adult education program, and it was found that these participatory exercises with the adult people were very relevant and it is very important, and the programs can be successful with the help of these participatory research action. Then another is the participatory action research. Some of the social anthropologists in African countries as well as other developing countries, they developed some exercises and they worked with the people. They found the poor masses, they are also very creative, they are dynamic, they have the knowledge, they have the traditional wisdom, and in this way they can also contribute a lot for the development of the process. So, the activist participatory research school of thoughts is very important. Then we have agroecosystem analysis. Under this, we know the agroecosystem is diverse, complex and risk prone. We need to follow the diverse pattern of the nature. From that point of view, this agroecosystem analysis is done through different methods, and we need to follow different methods at the different places. It had been found that farmers are the best people to judge the different activities, or they are the experimenters, and the agriculture scientists, they can also learn from the small farmers who are professionally oriented or who are practicing agriculture for a long period than the researchers. So, they can contribute. So, here the focus is that farmers can contribute in agro ecosystem analysis, and they are also a part of research. So, here farmers are the focus, they are the key people. We can also involve the farmers in ecosystem analysis. Then we have the applied anthropology. In United States of America, there is an Institute of Development Anthropology. The people or the scientists at these places, they contributed in this direction. The major focus of these anthropologists were that there is a need for the researchers to involve themselves with the people, to be with the people for some time. They should need to observe the people, and later they can also follow up with some action with the people. So, the major importance here was given to attitudes, behavior, and role of a catalyst of facilitators. Mainly the outside researchers have to follow the role of catalyst, conveners, or facilitators. So, these are the set of ideas given by these applied anthropologists. Then we have the field research on farming system. Here some of the scientists like Gordon Conway, they contributed in this research, and they found that small farmers who cope up with the different climatic conditions, and they try to develop some important crops with their own skills and own ideas with their experience. So, the professionality of the small farmers are recognized, and they were also recognized at a part of research under this farming system. Similarly, there is a set of the people who try to follow the rapid rural appraisal research methods. This is also a set of ideas, because under the questionnaire method or the interview schedule method, which we collect information from the people, that process is a very lengthy process, and many times the data which collect from the people, it becomes mind boggling. So, from that point of view, we need to follow participatory exercises with the people, so that we can collect these information at the rapid pace without going into the details with the questionnaire or the interview schedule. So, here focus is that how to collect relaxed information in a relaxed way and a better way. So, that is the important focus of the rapid rural appraisal. There are some basic ideas behind it, that we need to follow some ideas which is free from biases. Means generally what we do, the urban professionals go in the villages in a particular period, and they try to collect the information from the people. So, what happens, this is a urban researchers tourism bias is there. They try to go at the place which is nearby to the road, or which is approachable through the people, which is approachable to the different communication. They do not go in the remote places particularly during that period, and they fulfill their target, and then they come back. So, they are away from the reality. This is very important. They are away from the reality, and they could not judge, or they cannot judge the real problems of the people spending few days in the village, or just talking to the few people. So, real understanding of the whole scenario can only come that when we go deeper in the deeper sides of the village, even covering the remote areas, and we need to go particularly in the situation when the people are in crisis. There may be the flood, there may be the drought situations. So, we need to cover all these aspects when we conduct research or when we collect data. So, that is very important. We need to collect free bias free data from the people, then only we can find out the. Now, we come to the next. Major areas of operation of participatory rural appraisal can be divided into the 4 broader areas. The first one is natural resources management. Nowadays, the PRA exercises have been undertaken for the different development projects, particularly related to the natural resources management. It may be the watershed management, it may be the joint forest management, it may be the wildlife conservation or the protection of animals, wild animals. So, in this way all the natural resource management activities can be undertaken with the help of PRA exercises. The second one is in agriculture. As I told you, in agriculture, because we are dealing with the diverse situations, so diversity of the crops, cropping patterns, the different practices of the people, different artifacts or technology used by the farmers. So, these are the some important areas of research with the help of participatory rural appraisal techniques in the field of agriculture. Then further we have the programs for equity. This is very important, particularly our society is divided into the different sections. There are women, there are the poor sections of the society, there are some higher sections of the society. So, we need to take care of the all section of the people, particularly most of the programs which is oriented towards the poor masses or the women, they are the target group where most of the time, and we need to empower these target groups through equity consideration. We need to provide them better opportunities or facilities to have the benefits of the development to poor masses, particularly women and downtrodden people. Then we come to health and nutrition program. So, here also the PRA exercises are very important. The issues like reproductive health of women, issues like we want to collect information about the common diseases, etc. So, in all these issues the PRA exercises can be undertaken and we can develop the plan based on these exercises in the areas of health and nutrition. Now, we come to the next. The main thrust of the PRA, it talks about the decentralization or empowerment of the people at the grassroots levels. So, the basic focus or basic ideas behind conducting all these exercises are that we need to empower the rural people. Second is the local diversity. We need to follow what kind of cultural diversity is there, what type of social diversity is there, what type of the natural biodiversity is there. Accordingly, so local diversity is very important, and accordingly we can work out the plans conducting different exercises. Then we have the empowerment of the poor. The PRA intends to help the poor people, the people who are at the bottom level or at the periphery. They need to be developed, as the Robert Chambers says, putting the last first. This is the approach he adopts. Similarly, Gandhiji also told that we need to follow Antodaya, means we need to develop a person who is poorest of the poor. The similar approach we need to follow here also, empowerment of the poorer. Then we have to give respect to cumulative traditional wisdom. The people have been living in the villages since ages, and they have their set pattern of living. They have been adopting different technologies for their survival. So, we need to assess, we need to learn these technologies, and they have a cumulative wisdom which have been inherited from one generation to another generation. So, these traditional wisdom is very important. With this, we come to the end of this part of the program. In the next part of the program, we will focus on some of the PRA exercises. Thank you.